newest unboxing here on the Needless Things YouTube channel. Today we are looking at the Cobra Dread. Well, see, I separate the Dreadnoks from Cobra. That's me. That's my headcanon. Dreadnoks are a separate, independent organization that Cobra hires to make mischief and sabotage things and whatever else. So this is Monkeywrench, or if you're a listener of Audible Interlude, a G.I. Joe podcast, as you should be, available every Friday wherever you get your podcast, Monkeywrench. He's not my favorite Dreadnok. I liked him when I was a kid, but the weird thing about Monkeywrench is, yes, he looks like a big dude. He's got a cool design. He's got the mirrored shades, but he only came with, and look, the blaster is awesome. But that was it for him. So I liked him. I was glad to have him when I was a kid, but he's just not one of my favorite Dreadnoks. I'm not sure he breaks my top 5, to be honest. But I'm glad to have him as a classified figure. It looks like the classified team has plussed him up to the degree that he needed to be. He's going to look good standing alongside the other Dreadnoks. I am a little confused at the inconsistency with the sunglasses. Are they attached? Are they not? Should they be attached? Should they not? I have now landed, and tell me what you think in the comments. Previously, I did not agree with our pal Noel, who thinks that the sunglasses should all be molded on. I did not share that opinion. However, I have come to think that he's right. Buzzer was a big reason for that, because Buzzer's sunglasses are terrible. As you can see in my review of Buzzer, which I think you should watch if you haven't. So I do actually agree with Noel now. I wish they all, well, one way or another, I wish they were all the same, because it's just weird that some of them have molded on sunglasses and some of them do not. But yes, I now agree with Noel. I wish they were all just molded on. It'd just make life easier. And I realize, of course, there's the point of view that at this scale, in this form factor, that's not great. And I get that, but I just don't need those sunglasses to come off. And there are too many manufacturing variables that affect the way that those sunglasses work, as we've seen just within the classified line, that it's difficult to maintain consistency. You've got that first sergeant just loose. I'm gonna throw a little blue tack on that shoulder to keep that stupid thing in place. And again, that goes along with the form factor. It's just how it is. But yeah, the sunglasses, I wish they were just on, because, you know, you go back to that first Sergeant Slaughter figure, that the sunglasses were excellent, and they have not maintained that standard through the line. I'm really impressed with how snug this thigh holster is, and yet I wish it could slide up a little higher. I feel like it's sitting a little low. But that plastic, that's not your typical stretchy plastic that they use for these things. This has no give, so it's sitting where it's sitting. I do love the detail on it, though. Look at this. That is wonderful, and that's what that's what we're talking about with classified. This is what they do. And the fact that we've got the seatbelt motif on his stuff. I really like that touch. So let's look at that portrait while we're here. Suitably mean and snarly. He has what appears to be a piercing in his eyebrow, I guess. Got a little paint slop. It looks like he's got flesh tunnels in his ear, which is nice. And really, to the naked eye, I can barely even tell that paint is on his earlobe. I'm not sure what this piercing is supposed to be, though. Because it should have another side to it, right? That's a little strange. And then he's got some scarring on the face. That's a nice touch. I never mind that. And I like that he has a facial expression. You know, in general, I've always preferred figures with more neutral expressions, but I think we're getting to a point now where, with all the detail that we're getting in figures in 1/12 scale, I think they have to have some kind of expression now to change things up, because a face this detailed looks weird when it's neutral. You almost get into that uncanny valley territory. I love the fact that we've got storage back here for those axes or hatchets or whatever. This detail on the back of his vest is really nice, especially this little torn part here. And my headcanon is going to be, he caused that damage himself the first time he was trying to stow a hatchet on his back. He tore a hole in his own vest. And I will say, as much as I don't like this being loose, it's not crazy loose. It's not like tunnel rat stuff. It is sitting in place relatively well. You know, sorry, that was a little intense for 5x zoom. I like how dirty his scarf is. That's a nice touch. The zipper looks great on the vest. Paint looks really, really good. Great belt buckle. And just for a little side-by-side. I always liked the upturned collar on the original, but I'm okay with the difference that they've made here, because they've added so much other detail that it just kind of works. They've got the tears in the jeans are a new addition, but they make sense. I actually think I like those more than the patches, because the patches always looked a little like grandma to me. Like, Meemaw, can you fix me jeans? Like, I don't know. I do like the scarves tied around his calves. They did a good job with that. So this to me, this is a great update. I don't see there's nothing I see that makes me think, oh, well, maybe we'll get a retro. Completely unnecessary. Tattoos are good. I like the skull with the wrenches. And the other side, just sort of a simple dagger thing going on. And he's got a little bit of a tan, too. I believe he is a little more tan than the other Dreadnought figures. I'm not going to go grab him right now because my classified is just in a state of disarray. But I think he's got a little bit of a tan, and I appreciate that. He's great. He's great. Plastic feels good. The placement of this on the knee is wonderful, because it moves nicely and it just gives that knee a little more character. It's better. This is so much better than one knee pad. You know what I mean? And again, we have the singular crotch piece with these pieces attached, and I prefer that so much to the if this was like a belt. Although I will say it's a little weird. The paint here, I think, got away from him a little bit, because I believe that should just be a belt loop and not painted silver. But also, whatever. Okay, he's awesome. He's great. I like this Monkeywrench more than the original Monkeywrench. I think they have done a great upgrade on him. So let's take a look at the accessories, of which there are a lot. First of all, sunglasses. These are more of the Sergeant Slaughter variety. They're a little more rigid. You can see the mirror. Oh, wait. Are these translucent? Oh, that's wild. So rather than being mirrored, they are actually translucent. That's a interesting decision. Hopefully they're going to slide right into place and look great. Might have to take his wig off to make that happen. Let's just do that and get those. Oh, I'm still zoomed in too much. Okay. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to get those arms behind his ears and then put that wig back on. Maybe. Oh, if you look, the wig is slotted for the sunglasses. Wild. That's some engineering right there. So you just kind of have to tuck those up into it. There you go. Oh, that's great. So those do at least work really well and are going to stay on. And do look sufficiently mirrored to me. Nice engineering on that. Wow. So there's that. Well done. We'll wait for the alternate hairpiece. We've got a bandana that is dirty like the... Well, that's... Okay, so that's what's hanging around his neck. So you swap those out and put this one over his face. If you so desire, which I do not. But I guess we do need to see how it fits. Let's just pull all this off since we're going to be dealing... Oh, look at that. Those... The way that those notch in make this almost like a piece. And actually, I didn't get that side notched in quite right. But that's really good engineering. Props to the team for that design. That's really nice. So we get that. Oh, and he's got his necklace too. Look, I'm glad I took that off because he's got the same necklace the original figure had. So how is this going to work? I hope this is stretchy enough. Yeah, it's relatively stretchy. Seems a tad more snug than it needs to be. I think you're going to need to push that all the way down under the head because the hair is going to have to go back on. And then let's see if we can just pop that on. So there's that look. I won't be using it, but it's cool. I appreciate it. Matter of fact, I don't know if I'm going to leave the scarf on him at all. We'll see. Here, this is going to be a lot easier. Well, I say it's going to be easier if the head pops off. There we go. Let's just do that. Okay. Yeah, I might just leave this off. And then we've got that original harpoon blaster. Oh, wow. I did not realize this from... Oh, look at that. The harpoon launches, and it's a shotgun. Shot blaster. Sorry, whatever. So you've got ports for blast effects that you can use. That is great. That's a fantastic design. Another great upgrade. Very cool. And you've still got the cable spool right here. You get a little fuel tank, presumably to work the motor to wind the cable back up. This is great. I love the color detail on this too. You've got the tape around the grip, and then you've got that tank there. This is a really, really nicely done piece. They put some thought into this thing. I appreciate that. I even like the look. It's even got like brass knuckles around the trigger guard, or as a trigger guard. This is fantastic. Very well done. Okay. And then we've got a hand blaster. No port for blast effects. That's okay. It's a nice looking revolver. Great paint on it. Looks good. I gotta say, Monkeywrench feels like a little bit of a step up. Oh no, as I'm saying that, his extremely hard plastic thigh holster looks like it doesn't want to accommodate the revolver. I might have to heat this thing up and move it up a little bit because that bothers me. But also, this is just flat, and the revolver is not flat. So this, to me as a bit of an oversight in design, where I'm praising them for how well they handled some other stuff, but this doesn't actually seem to work very well. And this plastic, the plastic that the thigh holster is made of is so hard. Oh, wait, what? What just happened? Huh. Well, it just slid right into place. I guess it just had to open up a little bit. Or you have to get the barrel in exactly the right spot for it to slide in. Because once it got past a certain point, it went right in. There we go. Oh, that's weird. All right. Well, I didn't think it was going to fit, and there it goes. It does. But I still want to heat it up a little bit and see if I can slide it up the thigh just a little bit more. We've got alternate hands, which is a nice touch and really not even needed. He's got fists for punching. These hatchets that are wrenches with like attached to hatchets, which one makes them a unique piece that I can't see being used again. I mean, maybe, but very cool. And those go hopefully back here. I'm gonna guess these loops lift up a little bit. Yeah, okay. So this shoulder piece is also a little more rigid plastic, and these loops actually lift up to accommodate the hatchets. So they're not, you see what I'm talking about? There you go. Because I was wondering how that end was gonna fit in here. I don't know how I want to do those. I'm just going to stick them in like that for right now. That's fine. And then we've got one more accessory, and that is this wild Immortan Joe 3D B-movie, whatever this is. I like it as an extra. I didn't need it, but it certainly is cool. Very Mad Max, which is, of course, the inspiration for a lot of the Dreadnoks aesthetics. Not going to use it, but it looks cool, and it fits on there well. So there he is. G.I. Joe Classified Series Monkeywrench, or Monkeywrench, if you will. Excellent figure that I was not, I'll be honest, I was really just sort of buying out of obligation. It wasn't one that I was necessarily excited about, but it was one that was a must-have. Like, I was like, well, I've got to have Monkeywrench. But this is an excellent figure. I'm blown away. Once again, the Classified team has taken a concept that was okay, not a top-tier Dreadnok, in my opinion, and upgraded to the point that this is a great figure and a wonderful addition to the Classified series. So there you go. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, tell your friends about Needless Things, and until next time, buy what you like.
Smash that like button if you like Needless Things.